So welcome to this design festival. We're incredibly excited to be a part of this. We are from the Helen Hamlin Centre for Design at London's Royal College of Art, and we exist purely to use design to improve people's lives. My name is Rama, and on screen is my colleague, Ninela.
Hello from me as well. I'm Ninela, and I'm an Innovation Fellow at the Helen Hamlin Centre for Design, where I lead the inclusive design for business impact area. So I joined the centre back in 2018 to work with Rama on a homegrown model of creative leadership, which was conceived by Rama over a decade ago, based on a realization that we need more creatives in leadership positions, and we also need leaders who are more creative.
At the heart of creative leadership are these three values, which are empathy, clarity, and creativity. But it's based on the principle that everyone has leadership potential, that we all have access to creativity, which is a universal ability to develop solutions. Importantly, that empathy is the hallmark of a 21st century leader. We see that increasingly through the pandemic. And finally, that clarity is the missing link that aligns vision, direction, and communication. People often ask where these three values came from. And a little joke is that, empathy came from being a human being, creativity from being a designer, and the importance of clarity came from an ex-girlfriend. And we've all had that kind of relationship where you wonder, what on earth just happens there?
So the applications of creative leadership, multiple, we use them in executive education. We train people across the board, emerging leaders, established leaders, and we also use them in projects. And Rama will share an example with us later in the presentation. But where creative leadership is moving forward, we're working together with a neuroscientist, Dr. Melanie Flory, where we're looking at expanding the values of empathy, clarity, and creativity into a full spectrum of capacities and capabilities. So we're looking at emotions, thought processes, and behaviors, where each one of us can begin to train and develop these. In our work, we often get asked whether you're born empathic, whether you're born creative, or it's something that you can develop, and the answer is yes. So one of the early realizations that I had when I joined the creative leadership team was that creative leadership, as the model we showed you on screen, could have only been born at the Helen Hamlin Centre for Design. So for Rama, these values came together through the practical experience in delivering over 300 projects with nearly 200 organizations from business, government, and the public sector. And empathy, clarity, and creativity are innate in all of them. At the heart of the practice of the centre is inclusive design, and this is the definition by the UK government. Inclusive design is defined as including the needs of the widest number of people in your design, and that includes people of all shapes, colors, ages, and abilities.
Inclusive design has a history that's over 25 years. On the left, you see a program called Applied Ergonomics. And this was the conference where it was defined as a term by Roger Coleman, the founding director, in 1994. Since then, we have many tools and open source things such as this website, as you see on the right. Inclusive design is design, research, and action. And this is design. These are our designers out and about, talking to people, understanding the fabric of their daily lives. So the case study is based in the city of Derry, which almost splits the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. There is a river there called the River Foyle, and this is a silhouette of the map view of the river. The project is called Our Future Foyle. The project is a community artificial intelligence in the city, and it's based on a creative approach to suicide prevention. There is a saying in the city that if you've had a bad day, you are ready for the foil. There's been over 3,000 incidences of suicide or potential suicide or attempted suicide logged in the last 3 years in the city. And there's only 100,000 people there. We came up with a number of social and cultural interventions, and we'll take you through 2 of them. The first is called foil bubbles. And this is a set of architectural pods which act as bubbles sitting on the side of the river. You cannot build anything physical, so these are sort of semi-temporary structures. Anyone can rent one of these or own one of these, a student group, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, a florist, an arts group, as long as they undergo mental health training, so they can recognize someone in crisis on the river. People are much more likely to reach out to a friendly stranger than a hospital. And here you can see the bubbles in action on a dark night. And this is what they would look like. This is how they would act. So they just sit there, but they do interact with people. So a tourist could ask the bubble to play me a song about the river. Other tourists, and I'm reliably told by my American friends that these 2 are from Florida, given the length of his socks, but they can direct you to the nearest bar and then give you directions. And if people start to misbehave, and you can see these guys approaching the bubble, it'll talk to them and say, "Wise up, you're on camera." But the most important thing is that if someone is in crisis on the river, the city itself, the little buildings in the city, not just the citizens, can reach out to that person and ask the all-important question of, "Are you okay?" And in trials, this question, even if it comes from a bubble, is all important. It can make a difference. The next thing I wanted to talk about was foil reeds. This is the car bridge that spans the river, and you can see it's about 9 stories tall in the center. We didn't want to put up a barbed wire fence, but we drew inspiration from the natural reeds that live around the riverbank. And we turned this into a lighting installation, which also acts as a physical barrier. But they're beautiful. They could be one of Europe's largest urban installations spanning the bridge. And they're controlled by a phone. So community groups, individuals could own sections of the reeds. And it turns this place of desperation into one of aspiration, a place where people go to end their life, into a place where people can go to celebrate life and launch events such as this yacht race.
Thank you, Rama, for this wonderful presentation. I hope you have enjoyed, and here are a few ways to connect with us. We're forming something called the Creative Leader Circle, and do get in touch with us if you'd like to know more by emailing hhcd@rca.ac.uk. We also have a Creative Leadership Masterclass at the RCA towards the end of October, and here are our contact details on screen.
So have a fun festival. Thank you all. Bye for now.